Ah, there you are, Naomi, ready for another shape up.
Tony, I need to tell you something.
Yes.
I'm really, really sad because my time here on Shamba Shape Up is up and I have to leave.
What?
Yes. I've loved every minute on Shamba Shape Up, and especially of farmers, but I'm needed elsewhere.
Maybe she's leaving for a new job in another program. Maybe Don't Lose the Plot, coming soon to Citizen. Or even a bigger role in Makutano Junction.
Tony, hey.
No, so sorry. I was just thinking of how much we are going to miss you.
Yes, I'm going to miss you too, but don't worry. I have the perfect replacement for you. Have you ever watched Makutano Junction?
Makutano Junction? Oh yes, I love the show. Nice show.
Do you know Margaret?
Margaret? Margaret. Oh yeah. She's the chief's wife.
Surprise!
What? Carol?
Yes, Tony, how are you?
You're my new partner?
Oh, yes. What do you think?
Wow.
Huh? Yeah. Naomi, thank you so much for taking good care of Tony.
Yes.
I really appreciate that. But Tony,
yes.
I've just received a call that we are needed in another Shamba, so we need to get going.
Go and set up the tent.
And get ready for work.
All right, Naomi. We'll miss you.
I'll miss you.
Bye. Carol, let's get to work.
Bye.
Okay.
And I'll see you on another Shamba.
We have traveled all over Kenya to find hard-working farmers.
We want to celebrate them while giving them the help they need to improve their farms,
Get better yields.
and increase profits.
We will see how farmers from across the region can benefit from our expert advice.
And learn from each other in so many ways.
Join us on these journeys and share in the farmers' experiences as they shape up their shambas.
Karibu to the Shamba Shape Up Safari. Welcome
To Shamba Shape Up. Today we are in Kiambu County and we are visiting David and Hanna Muniu.
They are very serious coffee farmers.
They've been growing coffee for the last 30 years and they dry and process their coffee right here in this shamba.
And in a good year, they can harvest up to 20 tons.
Which is not surprising considering that last year they had
Over 25,000 trees. David Muniu is married to Hannah. They have a son, Alex, a grandson, Kuria, a daughter, and a son-in-law. So, let's go and meet them.
Hey, David.
Yeah,
How are you? Good to see you, sir.
welcome to our estate.
Show us around your shamba. Okay, bye, Hannah.
Yeah, bye.
All right.
Yeah, bye.
David and Hannah have 15 cows, coffee trees, bananas, chickens, and maize.
So, let's pitch the tent and get ready for work.
Wow, Carol.
Yes, Tony.
David and Hannah's shamba is doing quite well.
Yes, and we still have a few more ideas that we'd like to introduce them to.
We find out the value of doing a soil test.
Next, a fertilizer company that has different plans for different crops.
And finally, how to keep the soil healthy.
First, I'm going to work with David and his son Alex to see how we can improve their dairy herd.
Yes, and I'm going to work with Kuria, Alex's son, to see how he's been taking care of the Kienyeji chicken.
It's all in the family.
It's a family affair.
Family affair. We'll see you later, Carol.
Later.
All right.
To manage a large dairy herd successfully, it is important to keep track of what's going on. So, we invited an expert from Cooper's to visit, and we've asked him to bring their Cooper's Dairy Farm record book.
Let me ask you, David, what do you keep records for?
Milk records and breeding record.
For how long have you been keeping records?
I'd say it's over 20 years.
20 years of records.
Yeah.
And school report forms.
And school report.
The good ones.
Yeah.
Thank you, David. So, John, how can you help David and Alex?
Can I have a sample of the records you have been keeping?
Yeah.
both milk and...
Milk and breeding.
You see, when you put it in this paper, you can easily misplace it, and you can easily lose the straw that is telling you the bull that you used. We as coopers come with a comprehensive record-keeping way, in that all this information, you store it in one booklet, and for the whole herd. This will give you the name of the cow. You easily know the date the cow was served. You'll be able to project when the animal will calve down. You'll be able to project when to steaming, and you'll be able to know, to identify the sex of the calf. So this is a better way to do it, unlike the way you are doing it. The second one is the milk record. We as coopers advise you should have milk production record for individual cows.
Keeping records for each cow means problems like falling productions are spotted early.
What other added benefits are there in keeping records?
You'll be able to evaluate yourself, whether you are running either at a profit or a loss. 2, the same book will remind you for the farm routines you are supposed to do. Then from there, you are able to project on other operations of the farm.
I'm asking about feeding the cows. Because I used to give them whatever I feed them with. I don't see any change.
If you usually document what you feed the cows, it could be very easy for us to advise you. But now that you don't document, you don't put anywhere in the records, it becomes very difficult. And now that I've shown you how to do it, next time it will be very easy for us to make judgment.
Now, where can they get these books?
In all our Cooper outlets. Get to any agrovet, ask for a Cooper Dairy Farm record book, and you get it.
Thank you so much, John. So farmers, you've heard from the expert. Record keeping helps you to make quick decisions and save money.
While Tony was helping with the cows, I asked Barasa from Unga to check out David's Kienyeji chickens. Last year, David left them to his grandson Kuria to look after. And now, there's not many left. I want Barasa to help us find out what went wrong and to help Kuria turn the chickens back into a profitable business. But first, I asked Barasa for his general comments on improving the chicken house.
When I enter the house, I haven't seen any basin or disinfectant at the doorstep. That's indicated that there's an entry for disease in your house. The other thing I've seen also in the structure of the house, inside the house, it doesn't have the sawdust. Chickens are like other animals. They need a comfortable environment. When they're comfortable enough, they're able to produce more. You're able to get profit of it.
Could the poor hygiene Barasa is talking about be the reason why Kuria lost so many birds? I understand you had about 300 chicken.
Yes.
And right now they are?
Right now there are 10.
10?
Yes, 10.
300 to 10. That's a very big number. What happened?
The one who was taking care got ill. So the workload was more. Yeah, they lacked some food and they lacked someone to give them water. Yeah.
Okay, that is very unfortunate. Yeah. You've heard what happened to the chicken, a case of mismanagement. There's this general feeling that Kienyeji chicken can eat anything. You can give them our leftovers, we can give them sukuma wiki and they're fine. Is this right?
Carol, I'll call that one as being a myth. Because farmers, they think Kienyeji chicken is just Kienyeji chicken, the way it sounds like indigenous chicken. But now we are trying to advise our farmers to think in terms of money they're going to get from the chicken commercially.
Kuria is taking charge of the chickens again and wants to rebuild his business. But he's not sure what to do. Can our expert help?
We have a full range of Kienyeji feeds, which is going to cater for the bird from the day it hatches till the time it gives you eggs or the time you go to sell if it's a cock. Yes. Our range of feeds is called Fugo Kienyeji. So we have Fugo Kienyeji chick mash, Fugo Kienyeji growers mash, and the Fugo Kienyeji layers mash. So you need to start feeding it from day 1 to the end of 2nd month. You need to give it Fugo Kienyeji chick mash.
From day 1 until the end of the 2nd month, give Fugo Kienyeji chick mash. This builds good body frame. From 3 months until the point of laying, give Fugo Kienyeji Growers Mash. This helps the birds to gain weight and encourages early laying. From when laying starts, give Fugo Kienyeji Layers Mash. This helps increase egg production and improve quality. Finally, to ensure the birds get the right feed, Barasa has some further advice.
I would advise you to partition your house into 3 stages: the chick stage, the grower stage, and the layer stage, so that you're able to feed them rightly. When you keep chicks and keep older birds, they'll be harassed by the older birds. They won't be able to get the enough nutrients they require, and they grow slowly. So partitioning will enable you to feed well without competition that they may have.
So, remember, Kienyeji birds also need targeted feeding if you want to make a business out of them. There are 3 special feeds: 1 for the chick stage, 1 for the grower stage, and 1 for the layer stage.
So, we've learned how record keeping can benefit your dairy cows.
And how Kienyeji chicken can grow faster and stronger with targeted feeding. But on this farm, David is the real expert.
So, we've asked David to give us his number 1 top tip in farming.
I like to ask farmers to do coffee pruning so as to earn coffee yield. And by earning coffee yield, you expect coffee beans to increase weight. And after increasing weight, you get good marketing. And when you get good marketing, obviously you get good money.
So what do you think of that, Tony?
Excellent tip. Pruning does not only benefit your coffee, but also other crops in the Shamba as well.
Coming up after the break, we are going to do a Shape Up special on soil health.
We start with soil testing.
Then how to choose the best fertilizer.
And finally, the value of soil conservation.
So, join us
as we find out more on how to increase the yield on your farm.
Welcome back
to Shamba Shape Up.
We are in Githunguri and we are visiting David and Hanna Muniu and their son Alex. We've seen why record keeping is important
and how to give Kienyeji chickens a boost. But for the rest of our Shape Up, we are concentrating on soil management to improve yield.
Well, so let's start digging.
Yes.
Caro, here you go.
What? Take the spade.
All right.
First, we need a soil test. So, who better to call than the soil doctor, Daktari wa Udongo? The soil test is the first and the most important step to ensure your crop gets the best yield. It can tell you if you need more nutrients or if your soil is too acidic and needs liming. Fortunately, our soil doctor from Crop Nuts did the test for us last week. And now here she is with the results. Let's find out what she has to say. But I wonder if this is the first time David had his soil tested.
David, have you ever done a soil test?
Yes, about 10 years ago.
How frequent should farmers be doing soil tests?
In between 2 or 3 years as the crop demands.
What are you holding on your hands?
Tony, this is Mr. David's soil result report.
There you go, David.
Thank you very much.
At the upper side, we have his name and the crop. And now we come to the results. We have the colors. These are able to guide the farmer. When you have red, it's either saying it's on the higher side or the lower side. So our issue is to address what is showing red.
Red shows where there is either a deficiency or an excess. Green shows where the levels are good.
Our reds is falling on the lower side. Our pH says it's 4.61. If the pH falls from 7 going on the side of 0, it is on the lower side. Your pH is low or your soil is acidic.
From what you can see, what is David supposed to do?
On our second page, we have given recommendations. We call it Soil Fertility Correction and Fertilizer Program. For here, because we want your soil to be favorable for this crop, coffee. So we have given you what we call calcitic lime. We have dolomitic lime. Both are limes, but they are used to help the soil.
So after applying this, I should wait for the result now.
Yes.
And I assure you that your production will go 2 to 3 times higher. Yes.
Good. You're happy with that?
Oh, very happy.
All right.
I'll show him how to do
All right. Let's get to work.
When liming, it's important to wear protective clothing. Liming should be done after harvest at the start of the growing season. In general, apply lime every 4 years after a soil test. You will need to soil test and lime more often if the soil is very acidic, on a steep slope, or in a high rainfall areas. Spread over the ground evenly. With coffee, make sure you spread over the root area. This radiates out from the stem in a circle around the plant. You can drench the lime to get it into the soil. But if you don't have irrigation, then apply lime just before the rains.
We really want to make sure David gets a bumper harvest next year from his coffee trees. So, with the soil tested and the liming complete, our next task is to see how we can help improve soil nutrition. I've brought our farmer to meet Chris, an expert from Mavuno, to tell us about their fertilizers. They have a range, each one specially formulated to work for a specific type of crop. But first, I wanted to know, why are fertilizers important? Doesn't the soil keep its nutrients?
With the long-term use, the soil gets deficient. The crop is taking nutrients out. In other words, we call that nutrient mining. It takes the major ones and even these small ones. Mostly you realize farmers don't replace the small nutrients, they only replace the major nutrients. These are the N, P, and K, the big nutrients. They replace those ones. So the soil now becomes deficient of these other micros, and they are very important for the berry formation, they are very important for chlorophyll, they are very important for helping the pH.
As Tony found out with our soil test earlier, some of the smaller micronutrients were low. And this can be just as important to the yield as the main nutrients, known as NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
What will you tell us about the fertilizer for coffee?
Mavuno coffee's composition is 20, 10, 10, 20 N, 10 P, and 10 K for each and every granule you get. But it's also critical to know that Mavuno fertilizers, apart from having the basic primary nutrients, the most important nutrients, the N, P, and K, we also have the other next important nutrients. That is calcium, you have magnesium, and we have sulfur. And then also, in addition to that, we have other trace. These other, they are needed. They are called micronutrients or small nutrients. These nutrients aren't the weight of the berry, the quality of the berry, and also the resilience of the berry when it ripens. Muniu, your returns depend on the weight. When you go to the factory and weigh, that's your yield. So you need heavy berries.
Do you just dig in and put the fertilizer? What do you do?
One of the most critical things to note is the roots of the coffee are not at the stem. They are on the periphery of the stem, around. The root hairs are the ones that absorb nutrients for the crop. So you apply fertilizer at the periphery.
In general, you need 250 grams of Mavuno coffee fertilizer for every coffee tree. Dig a small trench 5 to 10 centimeters deep in a circle around the tree, using the edge of the canopy as a guide. Mix the fertilizer with the soil inside the trench. Remember that In order to be able to take in the nutrients, the soil pH for coffee should be around 6.1. Traditional fertilizers feed only the plant and damage the soil. The Mavuno coffee blend has added benefits of secondary nutrients and micronutrients which are beneficial to both the crop and the soil and guarantee optimum yields.
You should always consider the costs of purchasing the fertilizers vis-a-vis the cost of coffee or the price of coffee in the world market. So if you get that mathematics right, you'll be able now to be profitably managing your coffee bush. You'll be an happy farmer.
Yes. So next, we are going to learn about how to conserve our soil, and Tony is going to help us on that. Tony?
I really should start digging. Maybe your expert would like to do some...
Have you started digging yet?
Quick, before Caro comes over with David. No, not me, you.
Coming!
Oh, hello, Caro. Hello, David. Now, let's get serious. Soil conservation is not a joking matter. Thousands of shillings are lost by farmers every year as the rain and the wind take away the topsoil and expensive fertilizers, leaving the soil lifeless.
So how can we prevent the soil from being carried away?
Soil is where we get our food. So for us to survive with the soil, we need to do the soil conservation. And one of the key areas of soil conservation is crop rotation. Because most farmers, what they do their farming and they plant their crops in a whole year, they repeat again and again and again. So the most important thing is in a year you plant your crops and you do crop rotation with other crops so that you conserve your soil. Another thing you need to do is to have contours in your soil, because if you come up with the contours, you'll be able to protect your soil. Terraces is also very important because it helps the soil and it stops the soil being carried away. And through that, you'll be able to make sure the soil is conserved and you'll have your plant and your crops done well and you'll be able to survive.
In terracing, wide steps are cut into the slopes of the hills. This produces flat areas for planting and slows the flow of water down the slopes, which prevents soil erosion. Contour farming follows the natural shape of the slope without altering it, as crops are planted following the contour of the landscape. It's not good when crops are planted up and down hillsides, as this creates pathways for water to flow, causing soil erosion.
I conserve by planting grasses after cutting the contours. And all the same, as you can see, I have planted these trees around my coffee. I use them for weed breaking and leaves. Those leaves, I use them for as mulch.
That's a good idea from David. Planting trees and hardy grasses such as napier helps hold the soil in place. Not only that, trees provide protection from the wind, and falling leaves cover the soil and help retain moisture.
Why napier grass?
Napier grass is very important because it holds the soil together and it makes soil strong and all the nutrients are retained. So when it rains and the water flows down, it will not be able to carry the soil away.
Conserving your soil costs relatively little, and it protects your financial investment by making sure the nutrients you paid for aren't washed away by the rain or blown away by the wind. And then, at the end of the day, yield increases and profits rise. Talking of which, our day has ended. Time I found Caro and found out what our farmers thought about their shape-up.
It has been good. And now we've come to the end of our Shamba shape-up. David, have you learned anything?
I've learned how to maintain my Shamba now. Also, coffee husbandry, I have also learned part of it.
Okay.
So I have increased something.
That is good.
And I think there's a big change now in my Shamba.
Nice. And you, Alex?
It was very educative.
Good.
That is good. Yes.
Well, you too can benefit from Shamba Shape Up.
Is your cow on heat? Look, mine is so pregnant. This is because of the information I got from Shamba. You can also get the same. Just SMS the word join to 21606.
So Alex, are you going to make use of our call center?
Yes, I will. I'll do it.
Good.
Yes.
And you, David, are you going to be calling us?
Obviously, I have to be calling you.
And also the experts?
The experts.
Every day, every day.
Also, I'll be asking you to visit us.
Of course.
We're always ready to come.
And we'll do that. We'll have to come back again and see how you are getting.
And we have enjoyed your visit.
Thank you so much.
We are very grateful too. Yes.
Well, our work here is done, and we'll see you in the next Shamba. Carol.
Yes.
What would you say if I gave you 1 acre of land, told you to do whatever you want to do with it, and make more money than the other person?
Honestly, Tony, I would lose my head.
Don't Lose the Plot is a show about young farmers, 4 of them, randomly picked, placed in one big house, given 1 acre of land each. And with expert advice,
They get to choose the crops to grow and the animals to rear, market them and sell them. The one who makes the most money out of the 1 acre plot wins the big prize.
watch as they head for a showdown of their lifetime.
Don't lose the plot.
Coming soon on Citizen Television.